My name is Michael, and for most of my life, I was the kind of man nobody noticed. I wore the same old steel-toed boots every day, worked long shifts at a warehouse in Indiana, came home too tired to talk to my kids. Truth is, I was invisible. Bills piled up, credit cards maxed out, and my wife, God bless her, was working night shifts at the nursing home just so we could keep the lights on. I remember one night in winter, sitting in my beat-up Ford with the heat barely working, staring at my reflection in the rearview mirror. I whispered to myself, "Is this it? Is this my life?" And that's where my story begins. Because what happened after still feels like a movie I wasn't supposed to star in. Every day felt the same. I'd clock in, haul boxes, bust my back for pennies, then watch half my paycheck disappear to rent. My coworkers used to joke that we were just bodies moving product. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Nobody cared if I had dreams. Nobody cared if I was drowning in debt. At home, the tension was worse. My wife and I fought over money constantly. My daughter wanted new sneakers for school. I had to tell her no. She cried and said, "Daddy, all the other kids have them." That broke me in ways I can't explain. And then came the layoff rumors. Management was cutting shifts. People whispered about layoffs every week. I was terrified because I had nothing saved. I kept asking myself, what happens to us if I lose this job? That fear pushed me into a decision that changed everything. One night after work, I sat scrolling on my old laptop. I stumbled across a video about people making money flipping used appliances. I thought it was a scam, but something about it stuck with me. Next Saturday, I drove to a yard sale with $40 cash, picked up a broken washer. My wife thought I'd lost my mind. She said, "Michael, we can't afford junk in the garage." But I spent the whole weekend watching YouTube tutorials, learning how to fix it. When I finally got that washer running again, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: hope. I listed it online. It sold in 3 days for $200. That $160 profit wasn't just money. It was proof. Proof I didn't have to stay stuck. But every new beginning comes with a test. And mine hit sooner than I expected. Orders started trickling in. Friends from the warehouse asked if I could find them cheap dryers. I fixed them in my garage after long shifts. But then, disaster. One night, the landlord showed up. He said neighbors complained about noise, and if I kept running a business in the garage, he'd evict us. I felt crushed. For a moment, I thought my dream was over. But then, this is the part I'll never forget. One of my buyers, a small landlord who managed rentals, called me out of the blue. He said, "Michael, you're good at this. Want steady work? I'll pay you to refurbish every appliance in my units." I thought it was a joke, but it was real. Within weeks, I was making more from side jobs than I earned at the warehouse. 6 months later, when the layoffs finally came, they let me go. But this time, I wasn't scared because I didn't need them anymore. Today, I run a small appliance business with 2 guys working under me. We're not billionaires, we're not flashy, but I can pay my bills. I can buy my daughter those sneakers without checking my bank account twice. My wife doesn't work nights anymore. We eat dinner together. We laugh again. But here's the twist. What I thought was about money wasn't about money at all. It was about dignity, about proving to myself that I wasn't just another man forgotten by the system. Sometimes I think back to that night in my cold car, staring at my reflection. I barely recognize that guy anymore.
If you're listening right now, maybe you feel the way I once did. Invisible, tired, afraid the bills will drown you. I'm telling you, don't quit on yourself. Don't believe the lie that you're stuck. You don't need luck. You don't need permission. You just need the courage to take one small step, even if it scares you. If a broke warehouse worker from Indiana can turn a broken washer into a business, then you can take whatever's in front of you right now and build something better. So ask yourself, what's your first step? And when you take it, maybe one day I'll be listening to your story.